Siyat Shmaya. I hope to start now the third and final share, as of now at least, in the topic of the color of Argaman. I hope to speak about Shitas Raavad and the Shitas Kabbala. Very interesting. Also hope to touch on two halachas, halacha למעשה, where we find where would be nogea, what the color of Argaman is. Even though to actually explain what Argaman is, we don't need halacha למעשה. This itself is sufficient to understand what the Torah means. A lot of Agadah, a lot of Chazal, you can't understand what it means without understanding clearly what the color is. But of course, it's much better when we have halacha למעשה to see how it plays out halacha למעשה. Okay, so we'll start with the Rambam in Hilchis Klei Migdash, Perek Ches, Halacha Yud Gimel. He speaks about the colors of Chelas Argaman to Lashani. He says, Sheish, Chol Mokim Shenebe B'Torah Sheish, Oibad, Hi HaPishtam V'Haboitz. He goes on to explain what Chelas is and what Argaman. Ha'argaman hi hatzemer hatzua edoim. Argaman is the color, which is the tzemer wool, which is dyed red. And talas shani is a tzemer hatzua b'talas. Maybe we'll touch on a little bit later why the Rambam calls it edoim, and other Rishonim called edoim. That's not the topic right now. We're not, as we said earlier in the previous shiurim, that we're not coming to explain everything that needs an explanation. We're just coming to mivavasis, the side that there is a very strong reason to assume that Argaman was the color of orange, and as we explained, orange is all the colors, which is a mixture of red and yellow, form the color of orange. So from blonde to gold to orange to gingy, all this will include to be the color of Argaman. Okay, so that is the Rambam. Argaman hi hatzemer hatzua eder. Zok der Raavad, Omer Avram, li nire Argaman orig mishnei minim. The color of Argaman is orig, sewed of a couple of different minim, or mishloisha tzvam, or 3 tzvam. Al kein nikra Argaman. He's medayik in the word Argaman is the lashon of orig, to be oirig, to sew, and he's saying that Argaman, he seems to be saying that Argaman is a combination of different colors sewed together, different minim and different colors sewed together, and that's why it's called Argaman. So here we have an Raavad which seems to be disagreeing with the Rambam that says it's red, and he says it's some type of color which is a combination of different colors. So the Raavad would seem to be choilek on everything we just said, on everything we said until now, that Argaman is not orange, some type of mixture of different colors, all woven together. The Mishnah says, the Mefarshim w'cholik on the Raavad, everyone was maskim to the Mefarshim pirshu k'divrei Rabbeinu, that the Ma'aseh the Rambam would be the ikar pshat. Look at the Mishnah Malach, he's very troubled by what the Raavad means to say b'chlal. And other Mefarshim, Lamaisa, most Mefarshim don't have a makar for what the Raavad is saying. Very, very complicated Raavad. Where did the Raavad come up with such a pshat? How could he base such a halacha without any sources? It's a very, very odd Raavad. What does he mean to say? And whether that, where's the Raavad coming from? Halacha l'maisa, the Raavad is not a drush sefer or something. He's being masig on the Rambam. What's the source of the Raavad? But Lamaisa, the Raavad is not a das yachid to this. Many Rishonim and Achronim seem to be saying like the Raavad. We'll quote them soon. Now, not only that, the Raavad we find in the Shitas Raavad we find in the Zohar Kodesh many places, and be'ikr those who quote the Raavad, Derech Raavad, is all Divrei Kabbala. So that again enhances our question: where in the world did the Raavad come from? We only find in the Olam HaKabbalah, in the Zohar and Divrei Kabbala, this idea what the Raavad is saying. So, and nowhere in Chazal does anyone of the Farshim find any Bikar for it. So let's start with the Sfarim that say like the Raavad. The Radzina Rebbe in the same Psal Tcheles, Parat Shmini, Oisei, he says that Ochin be'emes gam divrei Raavad zal yesh lehem mekar nema medivrei Zohar Kodesh, like the Raavad we find in Zohar Kodesh. It says Argaman do knufya de klil tcheles kol gavna kachada. The Zohar Kodesh seems to be saying that all the colors come together in the color of Argaman. Another place, Mahi Argaman Gavni the klil and klas Gavni, a color which is color in it, 3 different colors. He brings further the Radzina Rabba Tekina Zohar. Is ein and klilim mikaven Gavni. There is a color that is included in that many colors. Kegavin Argaman, like the color of Argaman. In the Zohar Chodesh, Parshas Yisroel, Doch Hashmal de Eschazi begavni kegavni Argaman Agavona Yorek Adam Velovan. It says the color of Argaman Agavona is Yorek Adam and Lovan. Pashchikas in Zohar Kodesh Ilan Klas Gavnen. These 3 colors Chivor v'Yorek v'Sumak, white, Yorek, and red. They are in Levishe the Agavna, that is the levush of the Argaman, meaning to say that's what the Argaman color is made up of. So we have Kama Zohar Kodesh, which the Radzina Rebbe brings down, that explains that the color of Argaman is color for many different colors. The Ramban, Pirsham Yuchas the Ramban, it's really Ibn Ezra, Talmud from the Raaved's son, Yitzchak ben Raavad, I think his name is. Makove Argaman, on the pasuk of Makove Argaman, he says, Kava emtsoi hanik loshen choik. It goes on. Bikinu ba'Argaman, this idea where he's speaking about was mechana, the pasuk was mechana with Argaman. Why? Fisha arig b'minei tzevonim. It's arig. It's so made up of different colors. However, the Rekanti Parshas Truma brings the Zohar Kodesh, early Zohar Kodesh, the Argaman color mikol gavnan. It's included in it is all colors. The Radvaz the Shiur brings the Rekanti, the Rekeach, and Soidi Razi says Al Kisei Kol Minei Ma'or. On the Kisei there's all different types of colors. Zeyu Makove Argaman. The pasuk Makove Argaman is going on all those colors on the Kisei HaKavod. Maisa Makova K'may Eriga Shal Mini Gavanan. It's a Maisa HaKavod which is oreg of different types of colors. Harbe Kol Shal Mini Gavanan Harbe. Kach Savav L'Kisei Mara Hoid V'Hodar. So too Savav L'Kisei you have Mara Hoid V'Hodar, mean to say some iris or yoinim are made up of different colors. That's Makove Argaman. The nephew of the Radzina on the Sefer day which we quoted before, brings down Maimer Haseichel Ravon. It writes over there, Avabal HaKabala Amru v'Ramzi Pliya Be'inin Atchelas v'Yadimi Moshen Ibegavan v'Argaman Yeshiva L'Kol Amaris L'Mashmeres L'Ois. Argaman, not sure what we would mean, come to it all the colors, all the maris. V'Hikadas HaRaavad v'Yisoid v'Bal Kabbalah, the Yisoid from the Raavad is from Bal Kabbalah, that all these, that's what the Ravan is saying. Not sure if maybe the Ravan is saying like the Raavad, and he says that that's Misoide from Bala Kabbalah. The Ramak says the same thing. Erech Kavanim also says the same idea. So we have over here many Bala Kabbalah. They all say the same idea like the Raavad. What's mashmat that is the machlekes. We have a Shitas Raavad and we have Shitas Rambam. Rambam holds it's Edom, whatever that means, and the Raavad holds it's made of different colors. The only problem is it's extremely difficult to say that all of a sudden, definitely, especially based on what we said until now, there's a specific color for Argaman. It's not made up of different colors. We even if you learn it's purple, there's still derive it. It's still being chalik on that, made up of different colors, not the way we understood. None of the Mefarshim seem to, Nigla, seem to address such a concept, even address such a concept, made up of different colors. So where did the Raavad come? Where did the Raavad get this from? What does the Raavad mean? How are you supposed to understand the Raavad? And again, the question is extremely shver. We have no makar for the Raavad at all. There's no basis. No one in the Mefarshim bring any basis except for Sifrei Kabbala. So the Ra'adzina says, "Nirash elas astir b'divrei psikta." He says it's not a stir from the psikta, whatever. It's not from anywhere else. The Yashleima the Shnayim emes the Argaman hoy kolam mahar memaras lovim adam yorek who adam shvay hoya adam b'yoser. Means it's made of different colors. Let's take a fire. It has made of different colors, but the color which is most nicker, the most dominant color is the red color. In the Ma'aseh Choshev, if I remember correctly, that he says the same idea, that really the Rambam and the Raavad are not arguing. The Raavad is just more referencing the shirish of the color. And actually the Zohar, all the Sifrei Kabbala stem together with the Rambam, that it's made up of different colors, but the dominant color and what's nicker to us is the color of red, the redness of the color. My Chaver, Yisroel Barkin, he brought a Raya Brew to this from the Rekeach, because we just brought before a Rekeach that says that the Raavad, and in other places in Shemais, the Rekeach writes, "Va'agaman karav le'adar." It's a color which is karav le'adar. And Gilus Esther, he says, actually, in Gilus Esther, he says, like we said before, he says also in Gilus Esther, Argaman made up of different minim. So we see that the Raavad Vasachas, it's a color which is close to Edom, not made up of different colors. And the same, and he says also, like the Raavad, that it's Arg from different minim. The Radvaz also, the same thing. The Radvaz writes that Argaman is, we spoke about the Radvaz, he writes, it's Memutza bein Adam l'Lavan, and even though he brings the Zohar that's made up of different colors. So, Behachach, we have to say that there is a color which is made up of different colors. Actually, and this idea is Mefurish in the Zohar. Kat Isbri Patzufa the Resha. I'll just read the Muslim with the Vash Targum. Vaidei Zen Nisayru v'Tzamchi Sa'aras Haresha al Nukva. The Sa'aras from the head, from the Nukva, from the Keva was Tzameach. Kol Sa'asera Heim Dumim. All our Sa'aras are red. Shaklul M'Teicha, which is in this color, is colored in it M'Teich Shar Gavanim. V'im Kol Zeh, with all this, Nikr Mara Ha'edem Shlei B'Choizik. The most dominant color of the Argaman's colors, which is Nichlal in it, is the color of red. So it's Mefurish over here. This is what the pasuk means. Saras Reshecha Hem Ka'Argaman, and that's the pasuk Reshecha Ka'Argaman means. Then why does the pasuk say Argaman? Why does it say Mara Edom? And the Zohar answers, Ki Argaman he gavan Edom hakol b'toich shar hagavanim. It's the red color which is colored in it all the other colors. In kolzeh nicker admimusay, then the admimus is nicker in it very strongly. That is the most dominant color in it. So that's what Argaman is. Argaman is a color which appears to be red. In it, it's colored other colors. Based on what we said until now, the Argaman is orange. Like from this pasuk itself, that the Saras are Argaman. That also Shechek Argaman. The Zohar is bringing now that the most dominant color is red. So our orange is a mixture of different colors. It's a mixture of yellow and red, which Yorik in Shas Yorik means yellow. We'll see soon, Bez Hashem. The Goin also learns Yorik in the Zohar means yellow. So Yorik, the Goin says that Argaman is Lavan Yorik Edom, which would mean Yorik and Edom would mean orange, and Lavan I guess would mean mix it. lighter, or maybe Lavan is some Kabbalistic term, but definitely over here we see that the Zohar is saying it's made up of yellow, red, and Lavan would definitely point to the color of orange, with the redness being the dominant color, meaning to say either gingy or just orange, considering that the red being dominant in between all the colors mixed in. So, would come out from here, Fakert, that there's the Raavad source is very, very interesting, because the Choyritz Muchrach from this Asagas Raavad is very, very interesting, that this Raavad, no other way to explain it, is coming from Sifrei Kabbala. We know the Raavad had Kabbalah, was about, and he actually is Mefarish. This he's been made over here on the Rambam, that Argaman, the Shorish Argaman, is not just a regular Adom like Talashoni or anything like that. Is a color which is made up of different colors, and the most dominant color would be red, meaning to say that would be some type of orange color, just like we said until now. Okay, so that would be Shitas Kabbalah. Now we'll go to a raya from Halacha. In the Sifri it says, everyone knows the Sifri, it says that you shouldn't go in the ways of the Goyim. And the Sifri says, just like the Goyim are going with Argaman, I'll also go like the Goyim. Say the Pechikas Goyim should not be going the Goyish ways. What are the Goyish ways? The Goyim go with a Begad Argaman, they go out with Begad Argaman. Day, this halacha is brought down in Siman Kuf Ayin Ches of Aleph. Says the Mechaber, in Hoichem Chukas Hagoyim, we don't go in the Chukas Hagoyim. Oiv de Kachavim, V'lo Yilbash Malbush and Yuchadhem, you should not wear clothing which they wear. And there's Zuk the Ramah, V'chol Zeh Eina Aser, Elu B'dovash and Hagi Bo Oiv de Kachavim. All this is not Aser, only if the Goyim were noig, like this minig l'shem pritzis, Koin Shenahagu, Lilbush Malbushim Adumim, like they're known to wear very striking red clothing. Vihi Malbush Sarim, it's a Malbush on Sarim, Malbush on Gaiva. The Zelba Malbisha Pritzis, Oibidash and Hagin the Mig, the Chayk, and Tamadava, anything which is a Malbush Shalchayk, or that doesn't have no reason behind it, or is a Malbush Pritzis, or Malbush on Gaiva, Sarim, Yidden don't wear, Yidden go dressed with an Anivis, Yidden go dressed with Tznios, Anivos. And that's why you should not be wearing any color, especially the color of red. This is the Ramah. Now, the shorish of this halacha is the Marik. Shorish of the Ramah is coming from the Marik. The Marik in Shorish Peiches. The Marik starts off his whole tshuva with this halacha of the Seirach Chikas Hagoyim and the Safri Shloi Toima Hol Veheim Yetzim Argaman Afani Eitzel Argaman. The Marik is very marach in this halacha. He ends off with the halacha. He brings down Chazal that red clothing is also very priestistic, and it's not a clothes. The striking red clothing is not something which Yidden, which go tznius and anova wear. And that's how he ends off the tshuva with a couple of sources for that. Now, the Ramah Daka Moshe's chlor is coming from the end of the Marik. If Argaman, which is the whole source of the that is the tshuva of the Marik, based on that, why doesn't the Ramah say Argaman also? Let him say the color, which is the source in Chazal. It's true, there's other colors for the color red. Over the Iker source, this is free, is the Argaman. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about this halacha, let's say based on the Safri. Why is the Ramah mashmit the color Argaman? Would simply see that by adding the color Argaman, you wouldn't be adding much. Saying red is suffice. So if Argaman is some type of red orange color, then we understand orange is one of the most striking colors. Actually, that's why we have in the streets we have those yellow, those orange safety. Please put out those orange cones. Or by in the ocean, the rafts, the orange rafts, safety rafts, because orange is very striking and seen very far. Orange and red go together in this idea of being striking and recognizing, of not being rash, making commotion. pritzis and the malbush shasarim show yechashiv. So by saying Yerma saying malbush adum, he didn't have to say anymore the color of a garment, because that's what already he referred to that idea. Actually, if you look in the Chachmas Adam Sim Peites Halacha Aleph and Kitzur Shulchan Aruch Sim Gimel Halacha Beis, they actually don't even quote the Rama. All they say is there's a free. They obviously add they shouldn't be dressing like goyim, and they say they should not be wearing a beged Argaman. So they quote the Sifri. Why they mashrit the Rama? If Argaman is a totally different color, then the Adaim, what the Rama is talking about, they shouldn't have been mashmited. It seems to say again that you could say either one, you'll understand the other one. If you say Adam, you'll understand Argaman. Argaman, you understand Adam. Many Rishonim, when they say Argaman, they say Adam. So there's no reason to quote both of them. That would be the understanding of why the Chachmas Adam also are mashmit the Argaman. Adam. The Tzafat Sapanayach on the Rambam that we just quoted, Argaman Hitzav Tzua Adam, actually tells too. This is free. That's the source that Argaman has read. So we have Halacha L'maisa. It seems like the Achronim and the G'dayla Paiskim are naming on that Argaman is halacha like a real type of striking red color, which will be usher to wear, and this is Halacha L'dina, and it's very appropriate according to how we explained it until now. Now, obviously, if it would be purple doesn't say anywhere. There's such a thing as striking purple, which is princess or whatever. Of course, every color can be striking and not appropriate, but as a basic color of not sneezdik, we never heard of a purple color being also for a lady to wear. Color is very sneezdik. It's like blue. It doesn't say blue anywhere is also to wear. Blue, purple. It's more like a more toned down color, actually, not striking. So this halacha would contradict totally the idea that Argaman is a purple color. Nothing, and no other options either, like that. The red, purple, all these things are very tamed down colors, which are mutter lechatchila to wear, and all al das shem echad, that is a tzad to be aseret. Okay. So now I would like to start bringing a second raya, halacha l'maisa, what the color of Argaman is. For this, we would have to be mevayer what the color of esrog is, believe it or not, even though that's the topic of Sukkot, and now we're holding before Purim, but we're learning the parasha from Truma Tetzaveh. So, from this sugya, we could prove what the color of esrog is. By proving what color of esrog is, we could prove what the color of Argaman is. This itself is a chiddush. Most people do not know it, so we'll look at it first as a topic for itself, proving the color of esrog is, then we'll go back to the color of Argaman. Okay, the first thing we have to know about and understand the color of esrog is what a Prima Gadam writes: "Kam lahiris hayra be'esrog, to be murdered to paskin lach and esrog." The Yamsha Shleim and Chulam writes, "Hamoyrim merubim." A lot of people are paskin the shilas. Vayoydim mutim. Very small amount of people that really know the halacha. If you prat she'ing delam b'tzasenu, because and specifically because it's not grown in our places. It's arichin tuvahem, and we have to know. We have to really put ourselves into it to understand what's really going on. So, we come to Esrog, we find two extremely strange things, which most people have no clue about it and always wonder about it. The first thing is, the Gemara Sikha says, Daf Lamed Hey on base, Reb Chanina would dip his Esrog into some dip, and then eat it, bite into it, and then he would be his esrog, shake the lulav after he ate it. Unbelievable. He ate the esrog and then he shook the lulav. Eating the esrog, who would imagine eating esrog? It's disgusting. It's bitter. Why in the world would he eat it and then be yaitz with it? The Mish over there it says also, the kids shoimtim es levayim the Beis Hamikdash. The kids would schlep away after they were yaitz, during. I guess it was a Shana Rabbah. After being engaged in the midst of the Alminim, the last time, the kids would grab away the esrogs the lulavim, and they would eat up the esrogim. And we see the kids enjoyed it. The kids would enjoy the esrogim. Unbelievable. What's this thing of esrog that kids like to enjoy? Kids like to enjoy sweet stuff. What in the world is going on? It's not roy lachila. Okay, so the Gemara says in Eruvin, Daf Num Gimel Beis, Rabbi Yisroel, when he wanted to speak in Lashon Chachma, ki have mishtoy b'Lashon Chachma, he would say, like in riddles, have a Oma Hachi Asrigi Lipchamim Arki Lezahavim. Asrigi Lipchamim Arki Lezahavim V'asili Shnei Megidei Ba'alta. These are the words which he would use in riddles. What does it mean? Asrigi Lipchamim Arki Lezahavim. So Rashi says, Asrigi Lipchamim means Haviri Esapcham. Make fire, make the coals, make it flame the coals. Lias adumim ke esrig. It should be red like esrig. Esrig l'b'cham means make the b'cham, which are the chalim, make it like esrig. What is it? The coals should turn into esrig. Arki l'zahavim. Zikrashi shitchi k'marikia. Zahavim chalim loichshos adumas kezahav. Different ways he's saying make the flame the coals. That's why he would talk in riddles to make a geschmack. So that's how he would say it. Esrigi lib'chamim, make the coals like esrig. Rashi liyas adumim ke esrig. Amazing. Rashi, they understand that it was simply understood that when you turn the coals around and you make them flame, it has the color of esrig. Okay? Interesting. When was the last time we saw esrig like that? The Arach also says the same thing on this Gemara. Hisrigi hedimi ke esrig. Make him look like a esrig. Okay. Again, and the pasuk says, and the Gemara goes on. Arkil zahavim. Again, you should make it akil zav, and Rashi says you should make it shatech, you should make it straighten it out. It should shatche k'marikia. Gechalim loich shois adumes kezav. You should make the gechalim. It should look like zav. You say it, one way of saying it is make it red like a esrog, or make it gold, make it like gold. That's the color of the gechalim. So we see the gechalim could be defined as zahav or esrog. Okay. In the Rosh, in the sugya of niklaf, we peeled off. The shaila if it's kosher or not. So Zuk the Rosh, Imeri shaloi nitel ela haklipa demo. What the sugya of a klipa of niklaf is talking about, when the red klipa, the peel, red peel was taken off. What red peel? What is it talking about? Red peel of esrog? Mechai says, he says arba minim shabululav. In the schus of arba minim shabululav, ami matzal eskam arba malchias. And he goes on all the which one of the alminim is kenegad, which malchias of the galus, and he says esrog ze malchus bavel ma esrog ze doim lazav kach malchus bavel reisha dehava. So the Rebbe said take the esrog ki matzli of malchus bavel, which is zahav, which is doim to esrog. The color of esrog is zahav, which has to do with malchus bavel. Again, esrog is red like coals, like zahav, like malchus bavel. The Rabbi Yisroel Rosenberg brings down from Maria Vuav and Meir Samar. He speaks about all the different aspects of an esrog, what it's doime to, and the Meir Samar says, "Haklipol yoyna doime li seid ha'esh b'mareu." It's doime to the side of esh. The outside of esrog is doime to the side of esh. And its look. Okay, so we have gold, coals, fire, and the Mishnah Nidya says Chamisha Dam Tmeim Be'isha. The 5 different dam which are Tamei Be'isha. And Kavi Mahavel says that Yorick is also Tamei Be'isha. The Chum say it's tar. Zok Taisus. Hayorik kenik esrig. The color of yorik, which makava mahalos betama, is the color of esrig. V'lo yorik karti. It has nothing to do with the inza neik ladminas. The stam yorik can he. He says that it can't be a kava mahal is talking about a yorik of green, because that's not neik ladminas. In order to be tama, it has to be neik ladminas. So he must be talking about the yorik of esrig, which is which has an atil ladminas. This is not talking about Yorik. The Yorik over here is not yellow. Again, he was talking about something which goldness, like has an atia to red. And as steht in Bach, that according to Taisus, the Mechlekes Tanaim are a Yorik which is Doimel Zahav. So we had Taisus says that the Yorik is which is Tameh is Yorik Esrig, which is Doimel Zahav. So we have another source for this esrig, interesting esrig color which we never saw. Taisus in Sukkot Daf Lamed Aleph Bey says, Halacha Ma'aseh esrig ikroi doimel l'shava. Esrig is doimel to shava, which is shava is the color of orange or gold. Another source for the color of esrig. Comes out from all this that the esrig is shava, zav, eish, Cholam. What are we talking about? What in the world are we talking about? So from Harav Chashav Harav Avram right, Mechaba from Kuchatama, he's a very big mumcha in this. And while talking about the esrogim, you mentioned, that esrogim, when they're fully ripe, they're orange and they're sweet like an apple. I asked him, I think he said he ate it. I said, what do you mean sweet like an apple? I mean to say they're sweet just like an apple sweet, but they're not sweet like an apple. Apple's very sweet, extremely sweet. Okay, so maybe it's not like we have, but he said it's not sweet like an apple. He says, no, it's sweet like an apple. When they're fully ripe, there's sweetness and sweetness like an apple. And the reason why we don't have such a esrogim is because our esrogim are pulled off before it's finished. And he said when they're ready, they're fully grown and they're fully ready, they're orange and they're extremely sweet. And the reason why they don't let it to its full bishul is because then it's going to be soft. They're also soft and they can't deal with such a thing. It's not right to deal with. And also they're taking it off. They have to ship it and things like that. They have to deal with it, so they take it off before it's fully ripe, and that's why it's not orange, and that's why it's not soft, and that's why it's not sweet. In the Sefer Maseres Esrig, in the Akdama, he brings down the Esrig Tchunas Esrig is that you can eat it a lot. You can eat it while it's raw, without it being mavashelit. And he says, "Gam kol esrog mizon chaznish," all the esrogim from the chaznish, and he says from Vianova and others. After it sits on the tree for a few months, it ends up being gold and orange, and it's sweet. You can eat it. You don't have to add anything to it. No sugar, no nothing. But you eat it the way it is, just like apple. Okay, in the Sefer Evan Saper, Rabbi Yaakov and Saper, when he went to Taimon, he writes over there what the minig was. Machazim Kapirim after Yom Kippur, the Shamoshim came to Beis Knesses with sacks full of esrogim, big ones, beautiful ones, and they were fully mavushal. He says you were able to hold them with two hands. They were so big. Mareim Yorik Shava Kihem Gemar B'Shulam, and they were the color of shava, which because it was in the end of its bishul, it was fully ripe. Those were the esrogim he saw. So the reason why we don't have those esrogim simply is because we don't know the color of esrogim, is because it's not fully ripe. And we see in the Achronim, one of the Agor Ze'ezov on Issa Beheter says, Klar, that he brings down Rashi, that it's Adumim. He says, well, it's like a Gechalim. He says, Haliyadanu Shemar Gechalim Boyerim He Edom. We know what flames esrogim is red. So he says, probably the esrog is Noitel Edom. He says, but when the place we don't see that. Our esrogim, you could see nothing to argue. They're not red. What's going on with Rashi? He says, and maybe they're red in the times of the Gemara. That's where they were red. He says a lot of times you see the esrogim come from Eretz Yisrael. Obviously, I guess he didn't know that if you let it grow fully, then it will be, the color would be stark orange color. A chiddush would come out of here that the Ramban says, the reason why it's called pre-Eitz Hodor is because it's a esrog is Miloshen Arami, is Loshen esrog Loshen Arami Nikra Shemoy Loshen HaKodesh Hodor ki Perush esrog Chemda Loshen Chemda Nechmud Lamara. He goes on explaining that Hodor is going on the color of esrog and the Nechmud Lamara, and that's why it's called based on its beautiful color. So it would come out of the din of Hodor, the Torah states for esrog, we're referring to the Seif Gemara B'Shulai, the Seif Gemara B'Shulai, that's the Ikar color. So to come out the Halacha, it will be L'chatchila to take orange esrog, obviously has to be appropriate. I'm not going to get into those details. But the Moritzia say, the Yavitz writes, "Vada Mara Yori Kizohov Kakarkam Shimara Shal Esrog Hagomah V'Mahodor." He says klar that the Esrog Mara Esrog is Iker is Kizov Kakarkam. With that's the best color. The Zohar Kodesh Tikkun Chof Aleph says Tzorish Lo Yehei Psil BeEsrog. Shouldn't be any psil in the Esrog. If it's Yorek, he Meshubachas Yater is much better. Ki Gavna the Havas Esther Yakroikis begin the Itma just like Esther Yakroikis, the Itma Tubasha is the Malchus. It goes on. Vitikino Shivan Alan the Ilna 70 Alan from the leaves from the tree. Inan Kvitsoisav Elaya Itma. This is what it's talking about. Those are the Kvitsoisav, which is I guess the here. Elaya Imar, this we learned, Roshach Halakha Carmel, Kilon Yerokin, the Hachi Sarah, they all have to be Yorek, just like the Sarah, the Itzah, the Ibrat, and the Malkulam have a Yorek, Keshiva Minizov, has to be Yorek, like the 7 Minizov, the Esrog, Yorek, of Esther Metaman, Havas Yirak Rachas. So the Zohar is saying that the color of Esrog is the color of Yorek, which is the color of Esther, which was the color of the 7 Minizov. So we see from this Zohar that the esrog has to have the color of Zahav. Mishkan Yaakov Sim Kofni Vav brings down the Zohar and says, "Lahedi Mavur Medor Vakdoshim the Ikamara esrog he Kimina Hazav." The Ikamara of esrog is like the color of Zav. The Ikar Gale should be yellow. Or Noitel Edoim, like Noitel Edoim, not like someone else said it means green. Vein Laharach, Divrei Zohar, Lahedi Lahapach. The Be'inam Mara Zav. We need the color of Zav. The goyis over here says Yeroika. Let's loyme kazov. Yesh ma'as acheris t'ksherim ba. And he goes on. So he also says the pshat in the Zohar is Yara kazov. That's the chatchildige color of the esrog. The Zohar and the Kur Yaakov Simtov Reish Ches Simtov Nin Sivkat Nin also brings the Zohar Kodesh. He's masik from the Zohar Kodesh is avoid that you have to have the color, a gold color in the esrog. A kapan of oifim that even though other things are kosher, yellow, maybe green, but l'chatchila the price can bring down that it has to be the color of gold, the color that's the chilling color of esrog. We see from Shas and we see from the Shoinim that was pasha to them the color of esrog is some type of gecholam eish and some type of that type of color. Now we get to the Nakuda. Go back to the color of Argaman. After learning this sugya, I was sorry. Wow! So we're talking about the esrog seems to be the same color, like we're talking about Argaman. Then I realized that the Zohar Kodesh itself is saying this because the Zohar Kodesh says, brings down the pasuk that we're talking about the color of esrog. This is what the pasuk, the source of Esther, the color of the brata, the itzah, the sarah, the itzah, and it brings down the pasuk alayu itma. This we learned Roshach Halakha Carmel. That the Roshach Halakha Carmel. That's what the pasuk. That's the source of the whole source of the color of Esther and the color of the esrog. So the Chayra Pella, what the Zohar see in the pasuk Rosh Halakha Carmel that has to do with esrog? Carmel is Mount Carmel is very high. What does it do? The Dvarim Shutim that the Zohar Kodesh is b'samich. Was Katz. We find that in Shas a lot of times. So it says that the real source of Zohar Kodesh is the next few words. Rosh Halakha Carmel, the Dalos Hashach Argaman. Dalos Hashach with the Zohar bring Kodesh
means that many times, like the color of the hair of a woman, that is the idea of the color of Esther, and that's what we're talking about in Divrei Kabbala. The Pirish Moshe Dvash brings it down. Also, he brings down this part of the pasuk to explain Divrei Kabbala and Dvarim Shutim, that the Mkar for the color of Esrig, the Halacha Lamaisa, the Zohar comes from our pasuk which we started off. Argaman, that would be the source of the Chiyuv of the mitzvah Lamahadrin to have a Mehudadik Esrig like a color of Argaman, and that would be the second source of Halacha L'Maisa. I'll end off with one Nekuda in the Hilchos Negam. It says that the halacha is that one of the Maras Negam is Tzahav. The Torah Kanim says that Tzahav is Tavnis Zav. Now on the word Tavnis Zav from gold cover. Now the Argaman Tzahav says V'hikol Yud Gimel Lamed says Sumak. Now the problem is everyone tells us when it means Sumak is red. Every time it speaks about red, the Targum says Sumak. Why in the world is the Targum using the same color for Tzav, which is gold, Sumak, using for the color of Tzav and Zav, Sumak, as he uses for Talashani and any other red? That's not what the pasuk is talking about, Sumak. So the Mefarish, that the reason is because the Tzav or Zav also have a Tmimius, and that's why he calls it red. And the Sefer Derech Sicha says, Lo'hoi lo teva acheres al Tzav, and the word Tzav, that he didn't have any other word to explain, only Sumik. By Zav, ma'en edom. Zav is also ma'en edom. And that's why he said Sumik. So he didn't have any other word for the word Zav in color. For the word Zav or Tzav, and Argaman, I guess, would be a color of a fabric, a dyed fabric. It'd be the dye itself, but not a color of, not used as a color for Nagam. So that's why he used the color Sumik for the lack of any other word. I guess that's the whole source of our problem, all the generations, with the color Argaman. There was a lack of words for the color of Argaman, for the color of orange. In the place when they want to speak about the color of orange, they say Edom, yellow Edom, yellow Reute, Yorik Edom. So that would be the problem for the lack of words. The best word, the best terms in our terms would be the color of orange, not the color of purple, which encompasses many different colors. Actually, someone sent me that. Someone just sent me from the Sefer Hatchelos from Menachem Borenstein. He brings down page 248. Brings down from Plinius. He lived in the Lemasparim, the year 23 to 79, like 2,000 years ago. He writes like this. Heim hoitziu mechilazen and the papura arba asa mine gavanim shel teva. 14 different colors of teva. Different types of colors. Asher hudri mishachar, it started from black. Hadiyoi hanoitzitz atasogul, papura until the purple. But I guess the purple over here doesn't have to mean purple. It means, like we said, purple wasn't the name of a color. For edoim baneim adavard, pink. Habor hakalchalal I'm not sure what he's saying, but there were 14 different types of colors made out of the purpura 2,000 years ago, or before that. That's what they're writing 2,000 years ago. And there was a lack of words. They would all use the word purpura to recoil all different colors, like we use the word yarik to recoil all different colors. So, but today's days there is a specific word for this word, Argaman. So, and that would be orange, which would include anything in that made up of yellow and red. And I hope this shiurim were helpful, and shkoyach for listening.